What up, my freaks? RuinousInsight here with part 2 of my Total Warhammer 3 Kairos Fateweaver Immortal Empires campaign. So as we saw last time, we began the campaign by taking our first province with relatively quick ease, the High Elves falling without much challenge to the army of Kairos. Conversely, as we went north, we met a massive horde of skinks defending the capital of the Zlatlan faction, Zlatlan, and then faced off against them in an epic battle wherein we took quite a bit of damage because, well, 4.5 thousand or so skinks was quite a number. Fortunately, we did win, and I think they're damaged enough that we can destroy them outside the city without too much trouble. Before jumping into that, however, a quick announcement. As some of you guys have pointed out in the first episode, there are some units that are missing from this particular campaign, and that would be the Marauders and the other Warriors of Chaos units that are tied to the DLC that's coming with the Champions of Chaos. I'm only allowed to enable that DLC this Friday, so tomorrow from when this releases, or a next episode, or the episode after that, depending on when I record. So don't worry, those units will be enabled. It's not just the Chaos Warriors of Tzeentch that will be available for this faction, but the rest as well. Fortunately, we're not missing much, because Tier 1, as in where we are right now, the only thing that's available from that is Marauder Spearmen, together with the Blue Horrors, and I wouldn't use Marauder Spears over Blue Horrors anyway, because Blue Horrors are just plain better. So I think that'll be okay, and we will still be able to recruit those units fairly shortly, especially as we get to the better ones in higher tier. We do still have to go through all the growth after all to get those buildings, and I did check, and you can enable it after the fact, because, well, I just tried and did so. Anyway, that's probably why things like this, plus 10 armor for Marauders of Tzeentch and Marauder Horsemen of Tzeentch are in here, so that you can enable the DLC midway through. Looks like somebody thought of that in advance. At least I'd like to think it was that way. Anyway, let's get to it. First of all, Kairos, you did level up and you got 2 levels on ya. I did want to get Inspiring Presence, but you know what? Maybe we just go through all the way to our Greater Arcane Conduit. Because, I mean, he's a spellcaster and it just feels wrong not to... Oh, but we do have to get Gaze of Fate now. And to be fair, I'm tempted to get the missile resistance. Maybe we can get a Shield of Talos to drop. The thing is, Kairos is just constantly getting hit by all the arrows in the world. You know what, I still want to get magical reserves and build up to Greater Arcane Conduit. I'm probably just not going to bother with Tzeentch's Firestorm or Treason of Tzeentch early game, once again because I want to replace those with the Fragment of Ghyran and keep both Life Bloom and the Regrowth and Shield of Thorns spells available to us instead. I could be wrong about them being the most effective options, but to me it seems like they probably are, because healing just has so much value. Also, Fire, you are our Reinforcing Lord, you are going to be our Recruiter. So we're going to give you Server Die, and we're just going to keep going through it. Probably going to get some points in Arch Manipulator as well, but all blue line for you. Before we jump in, I also want to, not this, but rather Unholy Manifestation onto Fire. He's in an enemy province. There we go. It's not like he's doing anything right now. Beautiful. And then while he's doing that, we will have Kairos attack Quantu here. And there we go. We should be able to destroy the rest of those skinks outside the settlement. In fact, it makes me think now we could maybe auto-resolve it, considering we just defeated them. On the other hand, well, you know what? We're not actually, it looks like, suffering any casualties from this. But how damaged will we get? Surprised that you're not actually going to die. I'm also now questioning whether destroying them via an auto-resolve will lead to enough of their deaths that we can take the city, as opposed to manually fighting this. You know what, I think we're gonna manually fight this and then try to chase down as many units as we can. I fear that if we auto-resolve, so many units will survive that attacking the city will then prove more difficult, and I would prefer not to do that. Especially because the garrison of the city at this point is pretty much dead. Oh, and that red-crested skink chief is alive. We're gonna have to try to send the Chaos Knights to kill him, I guess. And probably move the rest of our forces away from where their reinforcements are coming in onto the map, so that they have time to actually form up and then not immediately run off the map. Maybe down here would be better, just to force them to travel a little bit longer, even if it doesn't give us the advantage of, or the benefit of high ground. Like this, perhaps? And like this? There we go, just force them to run into this blob of horrors. And then I want you and Kairos and the Knights to deal with the red crests, as needed. Or just the one red crest, I guess. Alright, let's try it like this. Kairos, move up. Let's have these units move up as well, and the flyers, because we might have them surround the pink horrors there. You, cultists, stay back, because I don't actually want you to die. Maybe move these blue horrors behind like this. And then the rest of you guys like that. There we go. Alrighty. How long until the reinforcements? So you got a minute. Alright. Exalted Flamer attack this. Chaos Knights get ready to charge. I feel like we probably shouldn't waste Kairos' mana on this. There we go. Another one of those hits should see that unit done. And then we'll move in our flyers. Alright, there we go. Switch to the next unit. Chaos Knights get ready to go after the... get ready to go after the red crest. I don't want them actually attacking the Exalted Flamer. Alright, that looks good to me. Exalted Flamer, turn off skirmish mode, move back into the normal battle. Kairos, do you need to help with this, or do you not? Alright, let's also send the flyers after the runners. Kairos actually meant to send you after the red crest. Go kill him, please. You know what? Let's use Gaze of Fate on him, just to reduce his ability to actually do damage to us. There we go. It was so tough to destroy him last time, but I still want him dead. You and... Wait, I guess if this guy... Huh. Now that I think about it, if this particular unit runs off the field of battle, he will die, because this army lost and then ran away, right? So it doesn't really matter that we chase this guy. Nor these reinforcements, technically speaking. Alright, Kairos, I think you can abandon this. You've got a slant to glean magic from. There we go. Alright, Chaos Knights, you could chase him just because he annoyed me so much last episode, and we might as well just have him be dead for sure. Pink Horrors, you can toggle skirmish mode. I really doubt that you're going to have too much trouble with those skinks as they run in. Kairos, find yourself a nice slan and settle down. And then skink cohorts, and... How we doing here? Come on, Knights. You're going to be needed to chase stuff here. Glean magic, please. I suppose this is a situation where we actually could have used the, that one spell, the Firestorm of Tzeentch? I don't remember the name of the spell. But the spell that we're not taking in favor of the Wind of Healing, the Wind of Gairan. There we go, not bad. And then move away, get yourself some more recharge, and then move away before you get damaged too badly by all those javelin throwers. Gotta love the effectiveness of the javelin throwers, though. Alright, and birds, flyers, get ready to move in. Everybody else is chasing Kairos. Okay, stay away from that. Stupid gaze. Okay. There we go. How much damage does Gaze do? Shem's Burning Gaze spell 5 damage, 70 range damage, explosive damage 5, as opposed to 70 range damage. So very similar, in fact. Alright, well, here comes the enemy. Kairos, you want to get another pink fire of Tzeentch on all this, especially on those javelin throwers. Good, good, good. You, Exalted Flamer, breathe on that. Kairos, get away from this nonsense. And maybe Glean again. Alright, Knights of Tzeentch, get into this. Skink cohort. You flyers, get ready to hit it from the back. Alright, and let's launch that. I don't really care about the slan surviving, because if one unit is left alive, it's not going to matter. Alright, and ooh, hello. Another, oh damn, can't overcast it. Alright, watch out for those javelins, buddy. Do the dance. Always do the dance. Ooh, another Burning Gaze. And up for your casting again. Okay, you're actually close to dying now, so you really have to be careful. Alright, fortunately the enemy is about to rout. Let's keep you away from the rest of that. Alright, this king cohort should be just about dead. As the enemy runs, then you can give chase to them. Exalted Flamer, go after this. Don't really have to control our unit or our army, because we already know we've beaten this. Alright, let's get the knights and at least one unit of flyers back here. Another Shem's Burning Gaze coming out. Switch directions. Nice, nice, nice. Dodged all of those. Alright. Not too bad. A few more hits, and... oh, wow, these guys actually survived. Zlatlan is still fighting. You know what? All pink horrors. Switch briefly to killing the Zlatlan. And... do we want maybe another cast here? Or do we maybe want to switch you to some of the other units? Alright, you attack this. Ah. The units are traveling in columns again, which is kind of unfortunate. Whatever. I think mostly they're dead, so I think regardless... oh, hello, this unit is relatively alive. Let's get that then, shall we? And, oh, I think we just might have destroyed one of our own units of horrors. Don't hit that again. Try to back off. Ah, maybe we actually can kill the Zlatlan. Keep doing your cast. Kairos, land among these units, and in fact use your spells on them. Alright, horrors, give chase, or fire, whatever. Pink horrors, try to gun down the Zlatlan, insofar as we can call it gunning him down. There we go, Kairos land on this, and use your Gaze of Tzeentch to prevent them... Gaze of Fate, rather. Is a Gaze of Fate and a Gaze of Tzeentch not in many ways the same thing? To prevent him from moving, there you go. And I'm gonna speed this up now. While he can't move, he should die. And come on, don't make me chase him down. There we go. Alright. Alright, got a little bit close with that one unit of blue horrors, and I'm not sure if any others died or not, but at the very least this should make the taking of the city very much auto-resolvable. Kairos is still chasing stuff. The other set of Furies is asleep. Set him up here for a few seconds. Alright, not too bad. I didn't feel the need to fight this one cinematically, because let's face it, we already fought it last episode, except when it was much more difficult. Alright, that's as good as it's gonna get. End battle. Did any of our units collapse? No, we're good. Came really close to that one, though. Gotta be careful with that Exalted Flamer, even though it does seem to be able to shoot over the heads of the horrors. When you attack parallel to the battle line like that, it often clips the horrors anyway. Still, it always cleans house. 327 kills, even though it wasn't even firing into the biggest blob of enemies. Kairos actually really needs some heals now, so we should be trying to get him healed. Got a free Sword of Striking, as well some potential healing. The money is so little that it's not worth taking. Let's just heal a little bit and then see how much more we heal in the province. Kairos. Oh, you can't attack now. Oh, they're going to recover some. Oh, that ain't great. That ain't great at all. I think you were out of movement points as well, though. Wait, what if you switch to regular stance? No, you can't reach it. Wait. Actually, you can. In regular stance, you can. Beautiful, and yeah, we can auto-resolve this now. Ooh. Was a little bit worried for a second there. Occupy the place, and Zlatlan is ours. Beautiful. Faction destroyed. Now we've caught sight of a nearby faction, and it is that a greenskin faction or a Nurgle faction? I can't tell if that's a vomiting Nurgling or an orc sign with... oh, it's a Leafcutter's tribe. Okay, it's an orc symbol with a leaf. We could actually go for non-aggression with them. Leave them to fight tic-tac-toe in the north while we take the jungles this way and potentially this stuff down here. I mean, it might not be the worst idea in the world. I suppose what we have to do is we have to figure out who we want to ally with. And more likely than not, we'll want to ally with Dark Elves, if possible, and the Vampire Coast. Fortunately, those factions are often friendly with each other. In fact, it might be beneficial to sail some units to find them. And though once again, since we're not that likely to be trading, it doesn't really matter that much. Yeah, you know what? Go for a non-aggression with these orcs for now. We'll probably betray them later or wait until they die. But if we have stuff to work on this way, I don't see why we'd go north. Alright. At least not yet. While we have stuff below us. And 2 Skull Islands to pick up as well. Fire, you're stuck where you are, but you will get us some Grimoires. I do want to take away your Sword of Striking, though. And Biting Blade and Sword of Striking. There's another Sword of Striking on Kairos. You know what? Let's fuse these, maybe we'll get something better out of them, because let's face it, they're trash. You know what? Let's actually... Okay, wait. Let's take Kairos' Sword of Striking, and then let's fuse the 2 Swords of Striking. I like the Biting Blade better. And we got a frickin' Helm of Discord out of it, amazing. One of the better pickups. Very, very nice. And you can have the Biting Blade to hit a little bit harder, I guess. We need our agents to get a little bit more defensive in terms of items so that you don't die so easily. Let's get you... I guess Kindle Flame. We want the spammable spells early on, so Cascading Cloak of Fire would be really helpful. You know what, let's get Cascading Cloak of Fire, then we'll get Kindle Flame right after that. Because it's not like Kindle Flame will activate if we're not using any spells anyway. You are going to go for that Greater Arcane Conduit. And oh, you only need 2 spells in this, or 2 points in this tree to actually unlock that. Very nice. And we're now at rank 9. So we start saving the rest of our points. Technically, we should have started saving them at rank 8. Or 9, so we won't be able to get everything here immediately, but we'll have to, well, we'll have to make a choice. Just gotta remember not to get anything else. I just think that we're probably better off getting Arcane Conduit. On the other hand, if we ignore this, and we don't get any battles in the next few turns, nah, we'll still get battles, never mind. We're probably gonna go down to that Skull Island, so... unlikely for us not to. Let's pick up another few Furies, I think, as we move down south. And then we'll send Fire to grab Yuatek for ourselves. Otherwise, just want to check what's going on here. The growth is still minimal, if basically non-existent. You know what? I think we can live without the pink cores for now. We're going to delete this and replace it with a growth building. We just need way more growth right now. I know that it's only turn 5, but still. Alright, there we go. Not too bad. We should also look once again into trying to confederate the, whatever other Tzeentch faction joined us down south here, the Flaming Scribes. Also, somebody said in the comments that you can actually build outposts with Beastmen tribes if you offer them a settlement via the trade settlement ability, which is a pretty cool idea. I'm definitely going to give that a try shortly. Oh no, Nurgle Plagues. Plagues make me nervous. Okay, this Fire, you're still stuck for another turn. We could have Kairos grab this, but you know what? Our healing isn't that much, and I feel like we just go past it into Tor Serpendar instead. Do you want to maybe move past it while in your channeling stance, though? I think you do. If we're going to fight at those Skull Islands, we're definitely going to need maximum amount of magics available to us. So we're gonna head to Dawn's Light, we're gonna max out our army, and then we're going to... Oh, you can recruit while doing this? I should have had you recruit instead of Kairos. I didn't know that. Okay. Yeah, and then we're probably gonna try to head to the Skull Island. Hopefully it's not gonna be too tough. Now, Grimoires and income, great conceptually, but it's the growth we need early on. I mean... it's gonna take some time to get there. We also actually really need money right now. Oh, give us growth and money. This gives us more growth. Oh, but this kind of solves 2 of our problems right now, and I guess 2 is better than 1. Ask Kairos' heads. Unless you count the 3rd. Forsaken of Tzeentch, we also do want to get some of you on the field, but the thing is... do we want to do this right now? You know what? Damn it. I just deleted one of these buildings and I was talking about the growth, but the thing is, we probably want a couple of Forsaken for those Skull Islands, otherwise, if there's some really tough units in there, it's gonna be too tough. So let's do that. It's end the turn. Fire will get us 250 Grimoires now. And then we're probably gonna head this way and then south as well. Ironically, I feel like this Nurgle faction will actually probably like us. It's just that I feel like it's free real estate south of us. And it would be weird to leave it to Nurgle. There we go, the thematic locus is available. Fire is also good to go now, so you're going to grab Yuatek. And colonize it. At great expense, unfortunately, but it is what it is. Then we're going to build that Soul Keep. You start with a Dimensional Tear, eh? I think we convert you immediately into... I mean, the Tzeentch Corruption adjacent provinces is great, don't get me wrong, but because this gives us extra growth, at least that's starting at level 2, we're still probably better off going for the Soul Keep immediately, while it's not that expensive to switch. On the other hand, we could do this in a couple turns once we've gotten and raised our corruption a little bit. You know what, let's do that. Let's switch you to Foster Cults for the extra corruption, and then we'll switch afterwards. Kairos, you're gonna head directly into Tor Serpendar from here. And you're gonna recruit a little bit more. And we can also upgrade Dawn's Light while we're at it. And, okay, for a second I thought that Skull Island had gone, and I was very concerned about it. How are you doing up here? See, you're losing, but that's fine. Let the other factions fight you, and then we'll come north to fight them once you're dead. As for what we are doing here, I believe we still want to go through this, so Gift of Mutation is certainly something that we can grab. Cult Whisper is growth +5, but it's this we want. Recruit rank, Locus of Transmogrification, which will give us... Leadership +8 when fighting Nurglish factions, eh? This might be a decent thing to get early on, but it kind of bypasses the Storm of Fire, so it goes the wrong way a little bit. But we do want to unlock Storm of Fire ASAP. And same with a bunch of stuff here. You know what, I think we're still going to go Gift of Mutation for now, unless we just want to go for that Reveal Shroud. Would probably be useful, but it really depends on the costs, like, where is Changing of the Ways? It's only 50 to perform. That isn't too bad, I gotta say. Also, I wonder, if we try to transfer the Statue of the Gods back to you guys, how much would it cost? We can certainly afford it right now, it's just that I see no reason to do so. Now we could transfer this to the Flaming Scribes. Like, or we could even transfer the Deadhead Monoliths to the Flaming Scribes. Generally speaking, you probably want to transfer the better locations. Are you able to transfer province capitals or just non-capital settlements? Well, let me just give a quick read to what this says. It doesn't say anything about whether capitals or not are targetable. Wait, this is a capital, isn't it? The Lost Palace? Yes, it is. So you can, in fact, transfer. We could just slowly give it to these guys. I would rather... Oh, we could give this to ourselves. We could just give us... Wait. We could just transfer the main settlement here. And slowly start Tzeentchifying this before we attack, eh? You know, this might be the best idea. It'll just weaken the faction. And it will cost us relatively little. You know what, I think we're gonna do that. Let's just steal the Lost Palace. And I guess we will want to... I was about to say subjugate these guys. They're actually starting to expand this way. Oh, aren't they fighting Oxyotl? Doesn't he start here now? Or am I mistaken? Well, either way, free Lost Palace, let's go for it. Changing of the Ways, transfer settlement, you to us perform. And there we go. I gotta say, that ability isn't just incredibly obnoxious. Alright, we have a massive amount of corruption, but honestly, if a rebellion happens here, I wouldn't be too mad about it. Our Tzeentchian corruption will also rise. I don't know where the Slaaneshi corruption is coming from, but I can't complain. Let us increase public order and growth here, shall we? Let's see, this increases research rate and extra grimoires, which is great, but it's not what we need right now. Let's get the control... and the growth and money. You know what, just the regular growth, I think. There we go. We'll have to get more money, but we do have a Skull Island coming up, so that'll fix itself. Then you're gonna get some blue horrors right here. in this turn that you recruit. I have to be very careful with our cash. I might actually have to hit the Skull Island without the benefit of our other units. Actually, you know what? If we take fire out, which we don't need anymore, there we go. Our money's a little bit better, and then we'll head to Dawn's Light. By then, this will be finished, and if we have enough money, we'll recruit, and if we don't, we'll just go for the Skull Island anyway. Still expecting a nice cinematic battle out of it. Hopefully that wasn't a huge waste of Grimoires, because we were going to attack these guys anyway. But I really like the idea of preemptively Tzeentchifying this location. They didn't like that, though. It's okay. We were going to move them north down here anyway. Hopefully the garrison will survive. I imagine that factions don't like it when you do this to them. Does it automatically cause them to declare war every time? Gotta be careful with that use. You. I just want to see here. Bubonic Swarm. No, it's just war. I think they just got angry. There's a gold mine down here, though, so we can't leave them alive to be using that gold mine. They're also unlikely to take this because we have walls and a full stack. Do we need more growth, or are we okay? I think we're okay. We'll just leave the money as it is now. Kairos, move into Dawn's Light. Don't like the fact that you're losing mana right now, but what can you do? There we go. And the Forsaken aren't that expensive in terms of recruitment, though they are fairly expensive in terms of their recruitment or their upkeep. Twice as much nearly as the Horrors, but that's okay. There we go. Now, we don't unfortunately have enough money to get a Web of Secrets here at Tor Serpindar, or to upgrade this, but we'll get a decent amount from that Skull Island, and then more from this gold mine once we go south. I wonder if these plagues will run their course by the time we're there. That would be ideal. Anyway, let's end the turn, let's hopefully hit the Skull Island, and then immediately here before they retake the Lost Palace. Hopefully it's not a mistake to focus on these guys rather than the Skaven or the... Oh, okay, that's their agent. I thought it was their army. Clan Morbidus. I don't know where you are. I assume you're the Skaven here. And oh, looky. If it isn't Little Tic-Tac-Toe. He is at war with us. Alright, we have to deal with this quickly before Tic-Tac starts taking our territories up here. Non-aggression pact. You're fighting the Order of Lore Masters. I'm gonna not do this for now. Because I think we'll want these territories more than we'll want to deal with you. Alright, then. Tic-Tac-Toe. There's a very high chance that he's going to sail to Zlatlan, but he will have to siege it. He does have a full stack and already has his Blade of the Ancient Skies because the AI is a cheater. Hopefully, however, he goes after this faction instead of us. If we get money, I might get a temporary lord over at Zlatlan as well. Growth isn't really strong enough to do anything else. I just want to double check that, Architect's Theorem possibly useful if these guys land here just to slow them down. Otherwise, not so much. Yeah, just keep the Dimensional Tear. Also, is the Garrison Defenders the same here? Yes, it is. Okay. No change there. Alrighty. Time for a cinematic battle. Let's get the Skull Reef. Let's hope that it's not anything crazy. On the other hand, I'm a little bit hopeful that it is still something crazy. Okay, it's been approximately years since I've read one of these, so I'm just going to give this a quick read. Pirate coves are some of the world's most elusive places, where the wealth of local sea brigands is secretly kept and fiercely defended. It seems that today may be your lucky day, as your lookout in the crow's nest claims to have spotted one. A crow's nest? A crow's nest? On the Tzeentch ship? Okay. A small island cave next to which a black ship is moored. The ship belongs to an infamous fleet of the vampire pirates, and it appears that there are zombie deckhands transferring treasure chests onto the ship right now. It's an opportunity for a big payday, but those unliving sea dogs certainly won't give up their wealth too easily. I certainly hope not. Let's raid the cove. Let's hope for a great battle. Alright, what do we have here? Artillery, yes. Depth Guard, unsurprisingly, though Depth Guard are fairly vulnerable in to range, though I suppose they could have been... that could have changed slightly in terms of the changes to the faction. The Rotting Leviathan is probably the biggest problem with its massive amount of armor and the difficulty of killing it, but if we kill everything else other than the Rotting Leviathan, the rest of the army will fold. Or rather, the Rotting Leviathan will dissipate. We just gotta make sure that we kill Maddie the Stasher here. Anyway, seems like it'll be a fun fight. Let's get to it.
was long prophesized. Our fates bound together.
Alrighty, well, welcome to our first beach episode and our first battle against the forces of the Vampire Coast. Gonna be a pretty interesting matchup as they do have a fairly decent amount of ranged firepower, though primarily in their artillery. They do also have that Rotting Leviathan that I was concerned about, as it would probably be quite difficult to bring it down due to our lack of armor pierce. And finally, those Depth Guard, which we will want to stay away from, and mainly we will want to prevent them from applying their aquatic traits, so keep them the heck out of water. Well, I guess the same thing goes for all of their units. Anyway, I moved Kairos forward through the trees on the ground and not flying, so that the carronades did not gun him down from all the way over there, while he's just going to flit around casting annoying spells at the enemy. Blue Fires of Tzeentch, for example, against the higher armored targets like the Depth Guard, and then for Pink Fires of Tzeentch for the various deckhands and other types of mobs. I do wonder how effective the Pink Fire, or the Blue Fire rather, would have been against the Rotting Leviathan. Generally, the magic missiles are pretty okay against big targets like that, though the unfortunate thing is, once again, that it's got a lot of armor on it. Against the Depth Guard, it seems to have killed 10 units there and done quite a bit of damage, so it's actually pretty decent. Though it does look like, I guess it'll take like 5 or so casts of it to actually dish out a significant amount of damage. Pink Fire once again going out against those deckhands, and then we're moving around back to try to annoy the artillery and the hand cannons. Basically, their most annoying troops. We're also moving around our Furies from this side, and we'll soon be moving them from this side as well, to try to hit those artillery once the rest of the army separates. Over on this side, we've hit our Knights, our Pink Horrors, and half our Blue Horrors, as well as our Forsaken, who are now moving out and getting ready to confront the rest of the army, while the enemy Rotting Leviathan is distracted by some Blue Horrors. We're actually not going to fight it here, though it has taken some damage to possibly the Flamer of Tzeentch rather than the Blue Horrors, because it's got armor-piercing attack, so I assume that's what did the damage to it. Yeah, it's dropping way too slow from the Blue Horrors, but we can just move away from it while we take care of stuff down here. Kairos, in the meantime, has dropped down on one of the enemy units of Zombie Pirate... wait, actually, this is deckhands with hand cannons? Gunnery mob with hand cannons, rather, and they are just about done. They're already crumbling after the attack on by Kairos. Kairos is then going to switch to the other ranged unit, though at this point he's taken quite a lot of damage to them really quickly. A full volley from those hand cannons into his face without the barrier up meant that he took quite a lot. However, on the bright side, the Furies have now arrived, and the enemy artillery and those hand cannons are just about done. Just gotta be a little bit more careful with Kairos. I really gotta learn to be more careful with him in general. I feel like I've been spoiled by Kugath, who is just plain unkillable, and Nakari, who's also unkillable in a different way, though. Like, Nakari is fragile, possibly in some ways more fragile than Kairos, at least in terms of vulnerability to range, as he has less armor and less and doesn't have the barrier as well. But once Nakari gets into melee, he'll always heal to full and becomes unkillable again. Whereas Kairos doesn't have that, at least he doesn't yet. Once he has access to that Wind of Ghyran and the regrowth spell to spam on himself, he should be just fine. Though I do wonder what the healing cap will be like. Anyway, the enemy artillery and hand cannons are done for. Looks like they tried to get a breath going on us, but failed. And the rest of the enemy army doesn't seem like they know what to do. They're kind of milling around protecting their Vampire Admiral, while we are isolating individual units. Some Depth Guard being focused down by our Exalted Flamer, as well as our Blue Horse here, trying to charge us on this little beach, but also failing. But hey, at least they charged, this is one unit, and they did manage to charge through quite a bit of fire like this, so I should be at least somewhat happy with them for not melting instantly. Alright, and there we go. Once again, that Exalted Flamer really working from us. Distraction Horrors are also working quite well here. They've been keeping this one Rotting Leviathan at the edge of the map this entire time. And as soon as they get badly enough damage, we simply withdraw them off the field rather than watching them melt. We're also kiting around this unit of Depth Guard with polearms over on this side with the Blue Horrors, essentially just running away from them and not wanting to fight them in water while the rest of the units keep getting isolated. Our Forsaken are also about to debut, and they're about to go try to assassinate that Vampire Fleet Admiral. He's got 70 armor, which is fairly significant, but they're pretty okay. They're damage dealers. They've got that fairly high charge bonus for a infantry unit. A very good weapon strength and melee attack, especially relatively unbuffed as they are. And there we go. He jumps into counter, or she jumps into counter, it doesn't really matter. You are going to get destroyed by this, and then we've also charged the enemy zombie pirate gunnery mob with Forsaken as well, who are going to chase them down and destroy them without much problem. Unfortunately, over on this side, the Depth Guard have managed to engage the Blue Horrors, though I suppose with the loose formations of the Blue Horrors, it's probably going to take a while for Depth Guard to mince their way through them. Plus, this is not the dual axis variety, these are both halberd varieties, as we focused the dual axis down as they went around. Kairos flitting overhead, he's still very badly damaged, but at the end of the day it's not going to matter because they no longer have any range in the game, and as long as we stay in the air, they can't hurt us at all. Otherwise, it looks like their army is just about done. We've not really created battle lines this time around, but rather had lots and lots of little mini engagements all over the map, which is pretty appropriate. Actually rare for one of these battles to get proper battle lines like we had against those massed amounts of skinks. Generally speaking, the more dangerous an enemy army is, the less likely you are to actually make battle lines. Battle lines are mostly for just the fun. Otherwise, if they have artillery or spells or anything like that, you gotta keep away from each other and not suffer mass damage to multiple units at once. Alright, Forsaken look like they were doing pretty good. They are managing to kill the enemy admiral, who's just about done for, as well as fight the deckhands mob. The other one has killed that gunnery mob and is now working on a deckhands mob with the help of those furies. Knights are also fighting and have charged the enemy zombie pirates in the back, and I do believe the battle is just about over. Turned out to be a little bit easier than I was expecting. Actually, maybe a lot easier than I was expecting. But it did turn out pretty nice, and this should give us plenty of cash to support us. I am so glad that a Skull Island spawned nearby, and it's certainly making me think. Looks like the plan worked with regards to the Rotting Leviathan, as it crumbled after the rest of its army was dead. Anyway, it certainly makes me think that we may want to make an army specifically to send them out to sea and just to gather islands relatively early on, and just by virtue of just how much money that gets us, especially if we can do so with a relatively inexpensive army full of just Forsaken and Horrors and maybe some Furies, and that would make the army probably really worth it as it sails out. Anyway, we'll see about that. A close victory, as we did take some damage, but most of the damage was, I think, on 1 or 2 units of Blue Horrors that fought Depth Guard and the Rotting Leviathan, plus Kairos. Poor Kairos, who I really, once again, need to be careful with. Alright, I gotta say, not bad at all. It did take some kiting with regards to the enemy units, and Kairos certainly got pretty badly damaged by the hand cannons as well as the enemy Artie, as he came very close to dying there with about, what, maybe 25% HP remaining? But on the bright side, we got ourselves 2.6k money for the fight, another 1.3k money for, well, the fight, and then after that, another 20k money and an earthing rod for all that. So this will certainly help us build up our empire, and we will obviously go after the other the other Skull Island as well, though we might stop at Vololtrax here and take the Skull Carver's abode in the meantime, especially now that we've transferred this thing and have taken over that territory. Maybe we'll have to build up a lord here to defend this, and the same thing might go for Zlatlan as Tic-Tac-Toe moves south, but I think that we can complete this relatively quickly. I'm also curious as to who's here. Oh, it's a little Slaneshi faction. Huh. I wonder if they will declare war on us as well. Well, either way, I probably want to take all of this, but I think we'll maybe go for Nurgle first, then Skull Island, then back through to deal with Tic-Tac-Toe to some degree. By then, hopefully, we'll have 2 armies, and that'll be long after the DLC is activated with the extra units as well. Anyway, unfortunately with that, I'm going to have to call this episode here as we are out of time. We are going to... Ooh. Could have reduced the infrastructure cost by switching you. No, but we need the Tzeentch corruption here for now. You know what, we'll hold on to it for now, although it looks like the enemy corruption is so heavy that it's really overriding the Tzeentchian corruption quite well regardless. Okay, well, regardless, again, we will see, calling it here, next time we attack the forces of Nurgle south of us, and then possibly another Skull Island battle, depending on if we have time to get to it, and we will see what Tic-Tac-Toe does, because we might have to defend one of our other territories if he attacks us there, although I'm confident that with a few blue horror units as well as a lord, as long as he attacks one of the walled settlements, we'll be fine. You attack a little bit less so, but, well, we could always take it back. It's not like we've invested anything into any of these provinces as yet, so we shall see. Stay tuned for more Tzeentch. Don't forget to leave a like and comment for your friendly neighborhood heretic. All glory to the algorithm. And thanks for watching.